beaming smile that hides a dark or tragic secret. It's hard to discern a person's true character from a photograph. Sometimes the eyes give it away, or the vacant look, but other times there is no hint of what lurks behind the image, or what disturbing backstory is attached to the subject. In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 normal-looking photographs that actually have terrifying backstories. As always, hit those lights, sit back, and enjoy. If you have a weekend of ghost hunting planned, then you need a decent bag and a camera to capture any paranormal activity. Well, today's sponsor, Bespoke Post, can give you exactly what you need with the Weekender box and the analog box. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club that delivers a box of awesome, with top shelf goods in every box that you can tailor to your own interests. 90% of the products come from small brands, many of which are based in the US, and showcase amazing items from under-the-radar brands. Each month you get amazing products based on a preference quiz you fill out, making sure you only get items that you want. They've got clothes, cool stuff for your house, camping and cooking gear, and more high-quality items in every category. You can join for free to get a box of awesome right now, plus you get the chance to preview the box before it ships, so you can decide if you want to skip that box, swap out items, or get high-quality products shipped direct to your door. Bespoke Post also offers a new membership program where you can get great deals all year round, meaning 30% or more off at times. The boxes I'd recommend are the Weekender box, a classic cotton canvas weekend bag with enough space to fit a laptop and everything you need. The other is the analog box, an old school camera kit that includes a fisheye baby camera, Lomochrome Metropolis 110 film, a light painter to add lighting effects to your photography, a black leather wrist strap to keep your camera ready at all times, and a 30th anniversary metal sticker. The box lineup changes each month, so you can always find something you'd like. So to get a free mystery gift with your first membership purchase, click the link in the description and use our code TOPGIFT at checkout, or go to bespokepost.com/topgift. Deadly pose. These 2 young women are posing happily in what looks like the remnants of a piece of crane machinery. The photograph surfaced in 2024, but the exact date it was taken is unknown. However, what the tourists may not realize is that they are sitting inside one of the most radioactive objects in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, on the site of the infamous 1986 nuclear disaster in Pripyat, Ukraine. Despite the years that have passed, the object known as the Death Claw still has high radiation levels, and as recently as 2019, archaeologist Rob Maxwell used a Geiger counter to measure its radiation levels and found it to be over 100 times higher than the highest standard levels of background radiation. Getting too close to the claw is unsafe, and climbing inside and touching it is a bad idea and incredibly risky. Spending just a few hours in the vicinity of radioactive material can elevate your risk of developing cancer, so if you were to spend the entire day with it, you would likely start showing signs of radiation sickness, and prompt medical attention would be required. If you recover in the short term, your likelihood of developing cancer in the long run would certainly be increased. Another danger to consider from climbing inside the claw is the risk that aside from the radiation emitted by the object, there is radioactive dust that could easily cling to clothes, and if carried around for long periods, can have a detrimental impact on health. We sincerely hope these 2 girls are none the worse for climbing in the claw, but only time will tell. The Beast of Belsen. This innocent-looking photograph is of Irma Grease, the blonde, blue-eyed epitome of a Nazi Aryan. But do not be fooled by the smiling 17-year-old. Grease was a Nazi concentration camp guard at Ravensbrück and Auschwitz, and served as warden of the women's section of Bergen-Belsen. At the age of just 20, she became the 2nd highest ranking SS female overseer at Auschwitz. However, her looks hid a cruel, sadistic woman who was feared by every prisoner unfortunate to find themselves under her guard, and she is remembered by many survivors as a cruel woman who was known for wearing heavy boots and carrying a whip and pistol that she used to dish out punishments. She committed innumerable acts of sadism and roamed the women's camps at Ravensbrück, Auschwitz, and Bergen-Belsen, looking for female victims to abuse. This is how Dr. Gisela Perl, a female inmate doctor in Auschwitz, described Grease. She was one of the most beautiful women I have ever seen. Her body was perfect in every line, her face clear and angelic, and her blue eyes the gayest, the most innocent eyes one can imagine. And yet Irma Grease was the most depraved, cruel, imaginative pervert I ever came across. Grease was also reputed to be a sexual deviant, taking lovers from the male and female populace of Birkenau. She was also alleged to have had affairs with the infamous Dr. Joseph Mengele, as well as Joseph Kramer, the commandant of Birkenau and later Bergen-Belsen. She is said to have stood with Mengele at selections and actively participated in deciding who lived and died. Her cruelty towards inmates became even worse in Belsen, where she was known to make prisoners kneel for long periods of time. Prisoners also had to hold heavy rocks over their heads during long roll calls. They were often forced to stand for hours in snow, ice and rain, and if they did not stand up straight, she would beat them with a rubber truncheon until they were unconscious. She also greatly increased the death counts by ordering selection parades, as she had in Birkenau. Even though Grease only worked at the camp for 3.5 weeks, she was allegedly so cruel that the prisoners dubbed her the Beast of Belsen. Thankfully, her notorious reign came to an end in January 1945 as the Red Army advanced into Poland. Her career of crime caught up with her, and she was arrested, tried and executed by the British. Jung Yoo Jung. Looking at this photograph, you would think nothing of it. Just a lady off on travels, or returning from them. However, you're wrong. The lady in the photo is 23-year-old Jung Yoo Jung, who had developed an obsession with crime shows and novels, and became fixated with the idea of trying out a murder. In May 2023, posing as the mother of a high school student who needed English lessons, she contacted a 26-year-old English language teacher who lived in the southeastern city of Busan in South Korea. Jung showed up at the tutor's house dressed in a school uniform, and after the teacher let her in, Jung attacked her, stabbing her more than 100 times, and continued the frenzied attack even after the victim was dead. Jung then dismembered the woman's body, put it in a suitcase, and took a taxi ride to dump the remains in a remote parkland near a river north of Busan. She was arrested after the taxi driver tipped off police about a customer who had dumped a blood-soaked suitcase in the woods. Police later said Jung's online browsing history showed she had researched for months on how to kill and how to get rid of a body. However, she had not factored in CCTV cameras and made no effort to avoid them. They captured her entering and leaving the tutor's home several times and brazenly walking down the street with a suitcase full of body parts. Jung confessed to the crime and was later sentenced to life in prison. Timothy John Evans. This black and white family photograph was taken in the 1940s. It features Mary Westlake holding baby Geraldine and her half-brother Timothy Evans and his wife Beryl. At the time, Timothy, his wife and baby were renting rooms at 10 Rillington Place, Notting Hill, London. John Christie was also living in the house with his wife Ethel. The photograph looks unassuming, but not long after it was taken, Evans informed police that his wife was dead. A police search of the building failed to find her body, but a later search revealed the bodies of Beryl, Geraldine, and a 16-week-old male fetus in an outdoor wash house. Beryl's body had been wrapped twice in a blanket and then a tablecloth. The post-mortem revealed that both mother and daughter had been strangled and that Beryl had been physically assaulted before her death. Evans at first claimed that John Christie had killed his wife in a botched abortion operation, but police questioning eventually produced a confession. After being charged, Evans withdrew his confession and once again accused Christie, this time of both murders. Evans was put on trial for the murder of his daughter, the prosecution having decided not to pursue a second charge of murdering his wife. Christie was a principal witness for the Crown and gave detailed evidence about the quarrels between Evans and his wife. The jury found Evans guilty, and despite an appeal, he was hanged at HM Prison Pentonville on March 9, 1950. After Christie moved out of Rillington Place in 1953, the bodies of 3 people were found in a wallpaper-covered kitchen alcove. The remains of 2 others were discovered in the garden, and Christie's wife's body was found beneath the floorboards in the front room. Christie was arrested, but only tried for his wife's murder, despite confessing to killing the 5 other people found at Rillington Place, plus Beryl Evans, although he did deny killing baby Geraldine. Christie was hanged for his crimes. It is now generally accepted that Christie murdered both Beryl and Geraldine. In 2004, the High Court acknowledged that Timothy Evans did not murder either his wife or his child, and an innocent man was hanged. He was granted a posthumous pardon in 2004. The Evans case and the public outcry over the tragic miscarriage of justice contributed to the abolition of capital punishment in the United Kingdom. The family had no idea what was to come when this photograph was taken, or the fact that the crime they were involved in helped change UK law. Franklin Delano Floyd and Suzanne Mary Sevakis. This photograph appears to be a father and his daughter. However, there is a much darker backstory to this image. The man in the photograph is Franklin Delano Floyd. The girl is his stepdaughter, Suzanne, the daughter of a woman to whom Floyd was briefly married. At the time of Franklin's marriage to Suzanne's mother, Sandra Frances Brandenburg, he was already a convicted thief and sex offender. In addition to Suzanne, Sandra had 3 other children with 2 different fathers. Shortly after their marriage, Sandra was sentenced to 30 days in jail for passing bad checks in 1975. While she served her time, she left her children in the custody of Floyd. When she was released, Franklin had taken her children and disappeared. Sandra was able to find 2 of her children, but her eldest child, Suzanne, and her youngest child, Philip, were never found. The boys' whereabouts remained unknown until 2019, when a man came forward believing he was Philip. DNA tests confirmed that he was. Suzanne continued to live with Floyd in Georgia, using the alias Sharon and Warren Marshall, passing as father and daughter. In 1988, Suzanne gave birth to a baby boy, whom she gave up for adoption. She and Floyd then relocated to Tampa, Florida, where she started working as an exotic dancer. Suzanne became pregnant again, giving birth to Anthony Mitchell Hughes in 1988. Suzanne and Floyd got married in 1989 in New Orleans, using the aliases Clarence Marcus Hughes and Tonya Dawn Tadlock. Suzanne's name was changed to Tonya Dawn Hughes on the marriage certificate. It later came to light that Suzanne had given birth to a daughter, Megan, while living in New Orleans, but she was placed for adoption. By April 1990, Sevakis had decided to leave Floyd and start a new life with Kevin Brown, a college student with whom she was having a secret relationship, and take Michael with her. The same month, passers-by found Suzanne lying on the side of a highway 100 miles outside of Oklahoma City. It was believed she had been a victim of a hit and run. She later died of her injuries. When Floyd arrived at the hospital the following day, he claimed he had fallen asleep at the Motel 6 after Sevakis had gone out to collect groceries. At the time of Suzanne's death, she and Floyd were suspects in the 1989 disappearance of 18-year-old Cheryl Ann Comesso, a fellow exotic dancer at the same strip club. Comesso had disappeared following an angry confrontation with Floyd. Following Suzanne's death, Floyd put her son Michael into foster care and left the state. It was later established that Michael was not Floyd's biological father. In 1994, Floyd kidnapped Michael from his school in Oklahoma after holding the principal at gunpoint, and Michael was never seen again. 2 months later, Floyd was arrested in Louisville, Kentucky, and he later confessed to killing Michael on the same day of the kidnapping, shooting him twice in the back of the head. Cheryl Comosso's disappearance remained unsolved until her skeletal remains were found in 1995 in an area off Interstate 275 in Pinellas County, Florida. The same year, a mechanic in Kansas found a large envelope in a truck that used to belong to Floyd. The photographs proved Cheryl had been murdered by Floyd, and he was arrested and convicted of her murder. In September 2014, Floyd admitted to the murder of Michael, and that he had disposed of his body on Interstate 35. A search of the area yielded no results, and police believe wild hogs may have eaten Michael's body. He was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. Floyd died from natural causes while on death row on January 23, 2023, at the age of 79. In 2004, the book A Beautiful Child by investigative journalist Matt Burbeck was published, bringing the story of Franklin Floyd and the at the time unidentified Sharon Marshall to the public's attention, and her true identity was established, along with the sad story of her short life. In 2022, a Netflix documentary called Girl in the Picture also covered the tragic life of Suzanne Sevakis. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next video.